Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera and good night, everyone. I'm sorry because the network issues and my notebook also have some little bit problems. So today we just make it short because we have a lot of your friend and half of us not join today. Maybe health issues, and I also have difficulty here. My son is not their healthy also is not really good, so I need to care my son also. Okay, never mind. But the most important thing is our class. For today, the discussion is based on the Q&A section because a quite numbers questions directly to WhatsApp me, especially for your assignments and little bits confusing about methodology or literature review. So today I hope so everyone, at least one question for one individual will be asked the questions, anything questions related on the business research method. I'm trying to give the answer and justify whatever the question from you all. Okay, hopefully we can start now. So I'm open. So we have two options or three options. Okay, I still receive three options. The first option is you can ask directly. Second option is you can write in the you can write in the area of message. You can message in the Zoom also. So, and the third option, you can also ask the question through the WhatsApp. I will be refer this platform and through direct, through live, through Zoom message, and third platform through the WhatsApp. So I try to answer from these three platforms. So if you have the question, please ask. Okay, let me start. Question from the WhatsApp groups. What's the difference between correlation and influence? This question from Ali. And okay, basically when we talk about the correlations and influence is refer for the quantitative research. Okay, it's okay if you want to study in qualitative, but the term we use is relationship. Okay, relationship. When you talk about the correlation and influence is based on the quantitative research. The keywords, the term of the correlations refer on the relationship. For example, in order we propose the research objective and to determine the relationship between, to determine the influence between. So this is confusing. Maybe you need to clarify that what the difference between correlation or relationship and influence. In quantitative research, we can differentiate these two based on the analysis. Okay, basically relationship we use correlations. When you want to use the influence, this is regression. If your lecturer asks you, okay, your level, PhD level, at least require you study on the influence level, meaning that you need to extend your research by test on the regression. Okay, what are the difference in these two? Correlations, we call that relationship. The answer can be positive or negative. Before that, have relationship or no relationship. How we know the figures regarding relationship and no relationship? No relationship, your result is based on the correlation is 0.0000000. Okay, 0.0000, meaning that you don't have the correlation or relationship. If you at least have 0.001, yes, you have relationship, but very low, strongly low. Okay, the best or the perfect ones on relationship is 1. So commonly it's very difficult to get 1. The correlation is 0.99. So this is the best relationship. We call that strongly relationship, very strong relationships. Okay, the maximum number is 1, but the basic is 0.99. This represent on the strongly, very strong relationship. If you get the result 0.01, it's meaning that not strong relationship, very low relationship. That's the number 1. Number 2, when we talk about the correlation, is based on the positive and negative. Positive relationships, negative relationship. When we look from the result, we can see the symbol minus. Minus represent on negative. So meaning that relationship can be positive and negative. The third one, in order to interpret on the correlation result, is based on significant or not significant. It's based on the p-value. We have basically we use to cut off of the p-value less than 0.01 or 0.05. You can use on the 0.05 or 0.01, meaning that represent on the significance. So it can be answered that yes, we have relationship between A and B, positive relationship and significance. That the result we can interpret from the correlations. So the second one is regress. The best regress that you can measure between A and B according to effects percentage. For example, how that A can influence B, can convert in percentage. For example, A can affect B, or A can influence B by 80%. Okay, 75%. Okay, and also influence can make prediction, forecasting. Okay, by using Y equal to X1 plus X2 plus error, for example. We can identify the Y value. So in this part, we use the regression. We need to use the R square to calculate that how we can get the value of X1 for X2 and Y. So meaning that when you use the what we call the influence analysis, you can forecast regarding on percentage or value the effect between A towards B. Okay, that another thing is you can also that if the factors or variables based on numerical, for example, kilometers, times, ringgits, dollars, you can also can propose equations. So influence that we refer on the regression, not just only can predict and forecasting, they can also come out with the and propose a equation based on the Y equal to X plus X2 plus error. So you can also propose the equation. So this difference between correlations and influence. Okay, regarding on the similar, actually, when you are study on the correlation and regression, you use the same data. The difference is the difference is regarding on the chosen of analysis. Meaning that if you use the correlation, we have the specific assumption and step. If you choose for the influence, we have certain technique to analyze. Okay, so we know that what the assumption and then how to, for example, when you use SPSS, you should be know the command and the command in order to you can get the result from the correlation result and the regression result. Okay, that you use the same data. That's why somehow lecturer need to suggest at least you extend for influence. Okay, let's say you prepare and propose for correlation. Suddenly your lecturer suggests at least you need to upgrade your methodology and analysis to upgrade to use the influence. No problem at all. If you ask me, can we extend from correlation to influence? I think we not really complex. You can extend because you not effect on your data. Still use the same data, but you need to use the different analysis. Okay. All right. Thank you for the questions. Okay, I go to the another questions. What is different between, okay, that's another things. How we can find suitable theory to explain relationship between IV and DVs. Okay, this is good. So in research, that's why in previous class that I highlight on part of descriptive, or we can call that descriptive. Maybe you can measure by level, by using modes. You can measure by percentage. So this part in objective we call that identify. Okay, but in this question is based on the relationship. Okay, from the relationship, how can find that suitable theory? So we have referred into two area. Area number one is based on your contents and what topic actually you use. Sorry, what topic in your thesis. So you need to refer that theory can assist you understanding about your topics. That's another one good reason why you use theory, because you want to understand the content. Number two is based on the research. That's why we need to come out the theoretical framework, conceptual frameworks. So in this case, you should be know that your research, strengthen your research, should be use quantitative or qualitative. If use qualitative, we don't have any problem because we are not test a theory. So we need theory for understanding and meaningful only. But for the quantitative researcher, why so important? You need to find the theory because you need to test a theory. So in this part, relationship between IV and DV, so is actually refer from the previous research. That's why it's really important in order to confirm that this research are more suitable for regress or effects analysis, you need to have support from the literature review. How many paper you find that to support in your research from your literature review can find that A have relationship towards B. How that you want to confirm, how you want to test, and on this A and B is actually based on literature review. You cannot be proposed without any support from literature review. How you are confirmed? Why you are ready to test these two relationship? Because you have enough literature review from the previous study. From the previous study, and do a same thing or little bit different with your factors on variable, but it's possible you use a same theory from the previous study. So please check from your related relationship. Please refer the previous article. You can find that what actually previous study using the theory. So it's high possible you use the same theory from the previous study. If your study are not, you have very difficult to get the theory because your reason, because no study previously have done in this topic, maybe your another option, you need to study on the qualitative. So that's why last 2 weeks that we discussed how that really important. You need to differentiate between qualitative and quantitative. If your study is ready, so the knowledge there, so a lot of studies focus and study in this topic. So we have a lot of the previous study from the local and international. That's why I choose this topic, because I need to test the theory and propose the hypothesis and test also. So all the literature review be support on this relationship. Then I'm decide to study in this topic on the quantitative research. Somehow students trigger to use the quantitative but don't have enough support from the literature review. In this case, I believe that your supervisor and panel also suggest if you don't have enough of literature review to support your hypothesis and objective, you need to study on the qualitative research. Okay. All right, so my suggestion, please check on the previous articles. So please record all the research through the literature review metrics, so that we are covered before. So I show that the Excel, how that I show with you that if you have read one article, please record in the Excel. Okay. How can I improve my literature review? Number one, please write literature review is not reporting way. You should have discussed. What the difference between report and discuss? Report meaning that According to Ahmad, blah, 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 blah. Next, according to B, in addition, according to D, according to E, that we call that reporting. So if you are prepared on literature review writing, the type of discussion, you should be know that in this paragraph, what topic, what theme you want to be discussed. You should be know that this paragraph for what. Okay, that's a really important. So in one paragraph, you have introductions. You should have facts. You should have the support facts and conclude. So one sentence for introduction. So you have 2 or 3 sentences for fact and support facts. The last one, you need to use your own words. You can conclude a part of this paragraph. Okay. So in paragraph, you need to refer a lot of the, it's not a lot, like at least you refer a books, academic writing books, such as academic phrase bank that I already shared in the WhatsApp group. So you can use the academic phrase bank in order to write a good sentence. Somehow students have good in term facts. You can get the good fact actually, but in terms of writing skills, and you are actually not follow the format on the academic writing. So somehow that your supervisor or panel very difficult to understand your paragraph. So the first thing first, you should be know in terms of writing academic style. So you need to refer a book such a book like academic phrase bank. So a lot of things you can learn from that book, how to write the synthesize, how write in terms of analysis sentence, how to be differentiate your discuss on differentiate A study A, B study another B. So you can differentiate, you can make similar, you can critics, you can synthesize. So that's a part of really important skill you should be learned in order to make very good sentence and paragraph. Number 2 is if based on your facts, how that the quality materials article you download. Please make sure I'm already teach you how to explore on the advanced search in order to get the good article journals, good thesis in the based on the international and locals website. So I hope so that you now should be explore to get the better quality articles from the prominent authors and new current citation, meaning that 5 years back, 2022, 21, 2020, 2019, 2018. So according to authors, prominent authors, and so regarding on the citation is based on the currently. So in terms of writing, you have very good in terms of the writing sentence and writing paragraph style. Okay, you can be synchronized between one paragraph to another paragraph. The last one is based on your outline. So this is another thing is quite really important. Students somehow that when I refer your TOC, table of contents on the literature review, it's very general because I don't have find the specifics. Literature review focus on your objective. For the panel will be asked you. So okay, refer on your thesis, refer on your objective number 1. Can you show me in your literature review which section or page can support on your objective number 1? Where literature review for objective number 1? So you need to be asked like this. Okay, for objective number 1, we can refer in 2.6. Purposely, 2.6 is actually the discussion on literature review for objective number 1. So the next one for objective number 2, we are covered on the section 2.7. So this 2.7, so we are actually discuss a lot of the previous article have done, do the same thing also from this relationship, can find the multiples and optionals result that we have a result on significance. We also find that the previous study find that not significant. So we should be discuss how that the importance from the previous study can be aligned with our studies. So that's another things you should be know that in order to improve your literature review writing. Okay, next question is, if I make a review paper, how many parts need to include in this paper? Sorry, I need to read it again. If I make a review paper, how many parts need to include in this paper? So actually, when you write to your article journal, for example, if you want to read the article, write article journal, you need to know that which journal you want to submit. Number one, if you want to submit article, you should be know where the journal you need to submit. Number two, you need to learn from that website and that journal. So some journal, they have different style writing, so you should be follow their standards. That's really important. So somehow student, you just write, complete the article journal, then ask your supervisor, I have done complete write one article journal, but I don't know where the place I need to submit. So if you use that method, you have difficulty and you have the problem, because you should be know the first step before you write your article journal. You need to find which the journal, the best journal publisher we actually align with our topic that we need to submit. So that another important. So the third part is actually you need to refer their style and standards. So you need to check that regarding on the topics. So how they make an outline for the chapter 2. For example, chapter 1 just only one introduction, but 2.2 is discussed on the literature review and previous study, how that their writing style in terms of write in the part of literature review, how detailed, how deep their discussion. So you need to check about the methodology also, and also the style of write in the methodology. They make it short, or a lot of table we need to add in these articles, and also how about the analysis that we need to share. We need to write details on the analysis, or just we make it summary in table, or from the simple explanation through the paragraph, or what style you should be. At least you need to follow the standard that's in it. So the student also asked the question, how many reference you should be at least to produce one article journal? The answer is also same. You need to refer that journal you want to submit. And then you get the sum range. So you check maybe 10 or 20. From that, you can make conclude from this purpose journal. If you want to submit, refer on the previous study, current previous study, we can make a range between 20 to 40. So in order to fulfill this journal, you need to also make sure that your reference list is between range 20 to 40. So everything, if you want to, what we call that, from the authors, co-authors, how many authors we need to at least minimum or maximum in order to publish in this journal? I don't have the answer. You need to refer that journals. You need to check one by one article journal, so you can conclude that, or in this journal, basically minimum is 2, maximum is 5. So in order to submit this journal, please make sure that the numbers of your authors, it should be not more than 5. That another thing is really important. Okay. What is different? Okay, what's the research gap and how do I find one? Okay, research gap is based on literature review. Okay, based on the literature review. So if you want to make sure that you need to find good in research gap, so number one, you need to read a lot of the previous, or we call the empiricals, and empirical article from the previous study that really related on your objective. If you want to find research gap, you need to find one by one through your research objective. What's the research gap for objective number 1? What's research gap for objective number 2? What research gap of objective number 3? If you are studying quantitative, we also need to more deep. For example, what's the research gap for hypothesis number 1? What's the research gap for your hypothesis number 2? Okay, so in order to get the solution, in order to find that research gap from your study, is based on literature review. That's why I'm highlight and I mention again. So we need to very specifically, we should have specifically section on literature review for objective number 1. For example, 2.6 for objective number 1, 2.7 for objective number 2, 2.8 for objective number 3, 2.9 for objective number 4. So in this specific section, you should be know that, let's say 2.6, you need to find the previous article, also do a same thing or a little bit related relevance to discuss. Please discuss on the previous study. Then from that, you can know that regarding on the couple on a lot of the article journal can conclude that. So mostly research, they are focused in this area. So in terms of method, what type of the methodly mostly research already used and applied. So from this conclusion, you can find that, so you can do and make it a research, a same topic, but the difference theory, the different concept, different methodology and analysis. So the panel on the specific one, the panel needs the research gap according your specific research objective. How to get? You need to make sure in your literature review, please write in this section and refer empirical article. How to get the empirical article? I'm using the advanced search through one publisher, through use my keyword, for example, 5 keyword to identify that the article mostly related and relevance with my research objective. That's matter how. If you ask me in which chapter we can get the research gap, is chapter 2. Which section is based on the section we actually produce and we propose for of our research objective or research hypothesis. Okay. Could we find the code column in the metric table? Code is actually is based on yourself. Its code is flexible. Is this based on actually, okay, in order to find that, let's say you print the article journal. So you need to code your article journal. You can code by ABC, you can code by authors, but you should be know that you need to have the standard coding style. So this matter how is based on your 5S in order to identify that, let's say you print a lot of article journal, somehow when you want to read that specific article, you are miss out, or so you have print again, but you don't have very good documentation on your whatever article journal you have not yet, or something like that. So that's why is coding matter is much important in order to manage your folder, manage your writing documentation. So this is a part of the formatting and regarding how you manage your a lot. Yeah, I know that numbers of article journal is quite numbers. So if you have 300, 500 article journal, how do you want to manage the article? So easy to us also as the researcher and authors. So we can refer your coding to make easy access and make too easy to control and monitor your documentation. Okay. All right. Next questions. What's method of data collection that can be used in survey? What method of data collection? So data collection is basically when you talk about the survey. Okay, survey is we use the questionnaire. So if you want to test a method of the questionnaire, you can do. For example, okay, I'm use survey and by using questionnaire. Okay, I use survey and I'm using the questionnaire. So in quantitative research, and at least have two. We use survey or experiment. So basically, if you are a researcher in quantitative, you need to answer my question. For example, what is your research objective? Sorry, research strategy. So when the supervisor and panel ask you what's I forgot already. Okay, okay, what's your research strategy in quantitative? The answer only have two, survey or experiment. Okay, you are mentioned survey. So if you are survey, what technique you use or what instrument you use? Basically, we use instrument. What instrument survey you use? I'm use questionnaire. The next question, the panel will ask you, oh, questionnaire. You develop your questionnaire, you are actually adapt, or make it new. So what the difference between adapt, adopt, and new? So adopt is exactly you just copy and paste. You directly refer that questionnaire from the previous study. You just use from the previous study questionnaire. So adapt meaning that you modify, but you need to send to expert to recheck. Okay, so you little bit modified, and so from the previous questionnaire, maybe you can refer quite numbers of the questionnaire, but you need to adaptability, or we need to modify because to suit our research, that we call that adapts. So new, totally new. So we don't refer the questionnaire from the previously, from our literature review, from our chapter 2, we make it another questionnaire. So you should be answer that when the panel asks you that your questionnaire is actually adopt, adapt, or new. Okay. So another option, so next research strategy for quantitative survey, and second one is experiment. So experiment also you can use a survey or the set of the experiment. For example, you come out a system, come out your models. So you need to test that how the effectiveness regarding on your fundamentals or your product proposed. Okay, so that how to answer from your question. What's the accepted range in Cronbach alpha correlation coefficient significant? So the question, maybe you refer the cutoff. Yeah, basically cutoff for the Cronbach alpha, basically for the reliability test is 0.7. But some authors can be suggest on 0.6, on 0.7. If you are studying new topic, we can also accept, so we can say acceptables for the reliability test using Cronbach alpha when your value is more than 0.6. But 0.6 refer on the new topic or exploration topics. If your topic is basically have proof that from the track record have done before in Malaysia or outside in Malaysia, so please use 0.7 as your minimum requirement. So you should be achieve 0.7 above in order to make sure that you have very good reliability value, and proof by using Cronbach alpha can show that our set of instrument, all item is reliability. Okay, that another things that commonly 0.7s, but if you are explore the new topics, so we can consider to 0.6. Okay. How to arrange the discussion topic in literature review? So this chapter 2 is really important to reader and your supervisor, your panel, and the public also. So once you read your literature review, you should be have represent solid outline, because once they read 2.2, 2.3, they get a knowledge. And then they start to understand. More paragraph, through outline, through another outline, they start to get the meaningfuls. Okay, they already know that, okay, why there will be accepted our writing, our narrative. So once they read another paragraph or another section, there will be increased their understanding, so they get the meaningfuls. Okay, but when you talk about the discussion, how that the what we call that academic writing style in the PhD and the master level, you should be applied. So I repeat again, so not just only reporting, but you need to discuss. Somehow you need to have differentiate between study A and study B. So from that you can apply, you can conclude that we have similar, okay, from previous one. So you have different from other study. So what makes conclusion from this different and similar? So in this part, as a researcher, you should be know that whatever you read, you're not just only reporting, but you need to discuss. So the people, when they read your thesis, always think that, so what? So what? You just reporting Ahmad according to Ali, according to Siti, something like that. But you not conclude. So why you need to summarize from previous author? So you are missing on the discussion writing. So this is really important. Our responsibility, once you choose one citation, meaning that you need to discuss something. Okay, let's say this is a current research from the Malaysia and also a few study from the Europe's, America and Canada's. That we can conclude that this all the study is actually based on the current research. From this research, we found that all research show the same things. Okay, that show that this part is really important and give the positive impact towards blah blah blah. However, from the India perspective, they show the difference. From the India, from the previous study, from the empirical study from India country show that different with the others. From their study, find the insignificance. This is because India still, that we call that discussion. Regarding applied, how you first thing first, you should be know that whatever you cite, this is really important. You know that why I'm cite this guy, because these facts is belong to answer your research objective. So in based on your narrative is meaning that in bahasa penceritaan. So regarding on narrative, the people will know that, oh, this matter is really important because you try to explain and you try to explain to us why we need do research in this specific objective. Because from the previous study, they showed the different outputs. So somehow cannot be explained clearly, still confusing. So from the previous study, just make it simple. Just study on the single perspective. It's not comprehensive. So once you start to discuss, and then you learn how to make a discussion writing, suddenly you know that what is actually research gap in your research. I repeat again, research gap is actually it's about the big things actually. It's not just on the negative side. This is actually positive. So not just make it conclude because no study, because limited study. Okay, think about the positive also, because this is a strengthen. If you are studying, this is a strengthened part. So this is a potential and opportunity. We need to do this because for innovation. So we need this because we need to change. We need to study in this topic because this is a criticals. So you want to topic because the governments, industrials, so they suggest to use this, to apply this. So hope so that all these things from your literature review discussion can be support for your research gap. Okay. Okay. Please recommend one or two data analysis software that easy to learn to operate quickly. So it depends on your objective. We cannot buy the software for research. We need to know that what purposely your objective and research hypothesis. For example, if you want to study correlation and regression, I think that you can buy for the SPSS, the latest version. If you want to study on the qualitative, we have two options. You can buy the software NVivo or Atlas T. If you want to study the effects or you want to study the modeling, so you can buy, this is a lot of option. You can buy for Amos and SPSS, IBM Amos, or you can buy for the SAM PLS. You can buy also from the Listral. You can buy from the SAS analysis. So this is part of to measure your effects. So which is you can measure by directly or indirectly. So it depends. If you are studying Asian science, you can use like the AHP, ANP. So if you use the secondary data for economic, for example, you can use the time series, panel data, econometrics. So we actually what your purpose? Okay, what's the method you want to use? Okay, from the previous study, what other research use the software? So everything they actually, if you want to know that which software or analysis should be I'm run in this research, you can get the answer from the literature review. But some student is not discussed. They just only discuss on the objective and finding only. But you need to discuss from the previous study, their use, what samples, okay, what type of the validity they use, what software they use to analyze this objective. So somehow we just make it a simple conclude to discuss from the previous or empirical study, but you actually not deep. And in terms of every single thing in the method, you are not described from the discussion method. So you need to change your writing style. Please make sure that your literature review is actually not discussed only on the objective and finding, but in terms of methodology and analysis also, you need to discuss from your literature. So I cannot be answer for your question. Can learn to operate quickly. So if you want to learn, so nowadays the best platform. I also do the same thing. If I need to learn from new analysis, I'm just learn in YouTube. So you just search in YouTube. You can learn. You can nowadays you can learn many things from previously before pandemics, before we are faced the COVID-19. Very difficult to find that certain analysis cover from lecture or academic side. So, but during and after COVID-19 pandemic, we can find a lot of lecturers on the methodology, on the content, on analysis, on the thesis writing also. They have shared many things, and they have shared tips, skill, process, so difficulty somehow that you have face limitations. So from YouTube, they share what's make much better for recovery, for improvement, and something like that. Okay. Is citation is allowed? So not allowed. We not prefer, but it's depend. But it's depend. So maybe you want to cite the what we call that the pioneer theory from 1929. So very difficult to get the article from 1929. So you need to read another article also mention about that theory. So you can use cite in. We call that cite in. But basically for the business research method, we can say that very rare to use cite in. And basically we need to read original articles. So when panel asks you how many articles you read, the number is need to equivalent with the numbers of your reference. Let's say in your reference, as a total, we have 100 journals. So if the panel asks you how many journal you read, you have done read, please your answer also 100. Don't make different between numbers of article journal you read and then for your citation also. So somehow the panel will be confusing. You are mentioned you read only 100 article journal, but from your reference we can find that 300 plus reference list. So then we ask the student why your reference list is quite I think quite many numbers of reference, but you are highlight that you just only read 100 article journal. So suddenly the student mentioned that, oh, because once I read one article journal, I can cite more than one. Or that actually, in terms of ethics, in terms of to make sure that you can write more quality in your thesis, I think this is not good way lah. I'm not really recommend you just read one article, but you can cite more and more. So please somehow that you need to real facts. Don't believe that from whatever you read the article journal. So you notice that so this article cite Fazli. Don't simply make a conclusion Fazli actually study like this one. Okay. Somehow you need to skepticals, or in this matter, I need to get the full article Fazli first before I'm cite Fazli. So always think that before I'm cite one person or one author, please make sure I have read this full article. If I need to cite this guy, I need to read their full article first. So somehow we not know that. So from the first person, okay, because they are read the original article, so they are really understand about this article, then make a writing from their literature review. But we actually don't know. So we don't read the original article, but suddenly we just make conclusion. Somehow that when the panel very, well, it's not particular but have experience and read the original article, suddenly they notice that you are actually make a wrong fact. Okay, I have one what we call that one experience. Okay, in our faculty, in faculty management and economy. So in the viva sections, our seniors, okay, our seniors. So the panel asked the students, okay, refer to page 102 and 102. So refer in the second paragraph. Okay, you cite Fazli. Okay, you cite Fazli. Then you discuss that Fazli actually studied and blah and blah and blah. I think the panel made argument. I think I'm also read these articles. Personally, I know this guy. I know that what is actually their research interest, what they do in their research. If I'm not make a wrong, I think whatever you write and what I'm understand from their article is little bit different. Okay, you know who the Fazli? Fazli is the person as the panel during their viva. The panel name is Fazli. So that's why Fazli know their paper. So suddenly students cite their paper, but it's make it another facts. It's actually not similar from the original one. Then, so we have another question on the viva, how you want to perform after, I don't know how very difficult to establish your psychology and motivation, because in bahasa Melayu we call dah kena buku dengan ruas kan, something like that. So dah kantoi kan. Jadi please make sure don't make another history for faculty management and economy. The panel will be ask you many angles from your citation style. Okay, whatever you cite, meaning that you have done read their original article. Okay. Can you explain the abbreviation of the assignment like SLR? SLR is systematic literature review. So this is another technique. If you want to write literature review, we have technique such as SLR, systematic literature review. SOP is stand for standard of procedures. So LR is literature review, meaning that, so in order to write literature review, many research use many techniques. Maybe they use a technique from the general literature. So this is a very basic, very simple and very common. So they use another technique such as systematic literature review. What else? They have another, what we call that, I forget the term actually. So we have another same like SLR. We call that scoping review. We have another one, I forget already. So they have another. So this is an option. So when you read the article journals, basically in the introduction section, the author will be mentioned, or according this article, they use SLR, use the systematic review, using the bibliography, what I forgot already. So they have a few techniques in order to write on literature review. We call that anti-saturated lah, and mendapatkan artikel jurnal secara habis-habisan, something like, and anti-end. So what technique you use to make sure that you have used the very good keywords in order to find specific articles, until saturated. So what technique you use? Oh, in this matter, I'm use SLR, systematic literature review. Okay. Okay, this is a question from the WhatsApp group. I need to check in the chat area. Okay, so have another question from these platforms, Zoom platform. You have any question? I think that I have done answer all the question from WhatsApp groups. Okay, if I miss the question, please highlight again, because I threw question start from number one question from Hong Angi. So until So we don't have name here. Okay. Anyone?
Excuse
Anyone
me,
to
sir.
be asked? Okay, guys, please.
Yeah, sir. One of the things that I want to mention here is like I have worked on my literature review, but still there were problems as the thing that you have mentioned, that we were like I was following the reporting method. There's the things that we are learning as we are beginners in the field of research. So if I'm making it correct for this assignment, so I think it will take uh, days to recover it and to restructure my writing.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's
uh,
okay. It's okay because it's never mind for our assignment business research method. That's why I mentioned is I'm not looking for the perfect method. So
yeah,
the most important thing you learn if you know that I make a mistake. I make a mistake. So I know that I need to improve my writing style. So
yeah,
actually my doing is not right way. So it's good that
yes,
you know that you make a mistake. So the
yes.
most important thing your thesis. It's not just only this subject because after this you need to complete your chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3. So you need to go to the proposal defense. So still have the plenty room to make an improvement.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And one thing, another, sir, if we just complete the proposal like the 3 chapters and we're just ready with the templates, sir, should we record our presentation in and share the YouTube link with you, or do we need to
Yeah. Okay.
present it here as well in the Zoom, or just share the link?
Just share the links. Share the link.
Okay, sir.
I prefer it's up to you because maybe some here have already YouTube channel, their own YouTube
Yeah,
channel. Maybe
yeah, yes,
some us don't have. Okay,
yes.
if you don't have, the most because with difficulty somehow to upload your video, maybe your video is quite complex maybe, and jadi
Yeah.
I just need a link only because I can check from the link. Make sure that the link is active, so it's not private. So if you
Okay, sir.
send the public, I can see your video. It's never
Okay,
mind. Never mind mine. If let's say you send your assignment, I check I cannot open to video. I will be refer specifically to you.
okay,
Okay,
sir.
okay,
Okay,
never
sir.
mind. So
Thank you, sir. Thank
regarding
you.
assignment, I will be checked one by one. If I not receive, I cannot open the video, I will be checked to the specific individual.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay because you are actually now. I believe that we have students from PhD student from local and international. So we have also from the master research. We have also student from MBA and
Yeah.
MBA students. So I believe that from the MBA student, this subject is quite technicals and very complex to you because
And I'm from the coursework too, sir.
they're from the coursework also. So
Yeah.
but I cannot be make it to very simple, but because we have the PhD student here,
Yes, sir.
so it's good. It's okay. Never mind. That's why if you
We
little
are
bit
learning so many new things, sir, because of them. Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. Never mind. Okay,
Yeah.
if it's this part, for example, let's say next semester you want to join this class also, no problem. Okay, but no need to do assignment or maybe you can just follow our class. You can ask the question. Never mind. But no need to do the some like assignments and other things you cannot.
For sure, I'll be in contact
Uh,
with you
but
as
but that
I'm
that
having
that
my
that
eyes on PhD as
I'm
well.
trying to assist you. I believe that some us need to sit in this subject again. It's not for pass or fail, but just to join this class, the same class by
Okay,
next
sir.
semester to just increase your knowledge. Somehow you need to join 2 or 3 times in order to clear certain thing.
You
Maybe it's
said that
maybe
we
still
have got your
too
YouTube
early.
channel, so
Somehow
yeah,
of you
it
is
can
too
help
early.
us as well.
I believe that a few guys of you just WhatsApp me. There's still search a topic, start to search a topic. So
Yeah.
how we can write in chapter 1 and chapter 2. So I don't have the specific topics. So I think that you can join another class to get to upgrade your knowledge. No problem. But please, I hope so everyone can pass this subject in this semester. Please send whatever that I discussed before, and because the most important thing you submit. Okay,
Sir,
I will be checked one by one. So if not enough, I will back to you. Let's say Moin, you have missing 1, 2 assignment. Please send. Okay, never mind. I will be.
sir, if we are just putting the information in the templates and if it is not 100% accurate, sir, as for the significant template, I'm not understanding that what to write the in the industrial part, in the government part, in the education part. There are some parts that it's not quite.
That's why I make an effort to today. So
Yeah.
if you don't have don't clear certain thing, please ask today. Okay. So if I can make clearly on your specific questions.
Sir, still if we are just not making it to the point after researching it, after knowing it, but still like if there are, it's not 100% accurate, so will it affect our grades?
Yeah. Never mind. Okay. I think Moin, you can refer against our previous class video. So
Okay.
maybe Moin, this is because from your senior feedbacks. So somehow when they are refer our class video, they need to listening not just one time, maybe 2-3 times they make clearly. So the option number 1, you can refer our video class, and then because I cannot be answer your question to generally, but in order to answer your question, maybe take time. Okay, so maybe we need have another class. But if you have specific question, please ask now, so I can be guide you what is actually to make action from your questions. Okay?
Sir, the point that I want to make, like as I said, that we are not perfect in research up to now. We are beginners. We are listening and learning. So like if we are filling the template, so there would be errors for sure in the templates as well. So the thing that I wanted to ask was that how much the room is there for the errors in this subject, and the template especially, not in the proposal.
So this is we call that for you, for the beginner, we call that exploring.
Yes, sir.
You are exploring. Then and you have supervisor. So I'm just the what we call that the lecturer for this subject, at least for the good start. And for the good start, you learn I think just little bits. You need to go another class, not just only me. You can find others lecturer in UPSI, others lecturer from Malaysia or international. You need to learn time to time, because you just start, and you just start your thesis. So many thing you want to explore and understandings. I cannot be say difficult. I cannot say that really complex. But if you run away and you not go to learn time to time, and until your end your writing thesis, so many thing that somehow that we think that we already know that what is actually thesis, what is about the methodology, but
There are so
somehow
many things, to explore.
somehow the panel tricky your question. So the trick by question, we cannot answer that the questions. But I show you something like for example, regarding on the significance. So in significant is for me is too early for us to write, because we not have the data collection, we don't have analysis, we don't have the result. Can we write for the contribution or significant? Very difficult. Okay, but if you we know about the process. Oh, significant is expected. We call that expected. How can we expect it? From your reading. Okay, when you read the article journals or empirical research, you can know that, oh, so this research a study on relationship. If we study on relationship, what is exactly data collection, analysis, finding, discussion, and contribution? So from your reading, we know that, oh, if I'm studying relationship, the results show that significance values. Oh, that you know that, oh, this is the output from this type of the analysis. Okay, so doing my study. So I'm also study on the relationship between A and B. So if from the template, I show you about the theoretical. What's the theoretical? I mentioned the theoretical is knowledge. So when the people read your thesis, what their knowledge, upgrade knowledge, they increase their knowledge. What type of the knowledge you can highlight? If you read these journals, you get knowledge. What's the knowledge? You need to explain. Okay, I'm read your thesis. You highlight that this thesis contribute for methodology. What's a methodology? Also, people panel will ask you, what's a methodology? You need to explain this research, what is your population, what your samples. So what the special process in this research that if you read in this thesis, you can learn. Oh, this is another strategy to collect the data. So unique, the research study you apply. So how that you find that specific samples? How do you to analyze this data? So the people will learn from your thesis. Oh, this is a good thesis. We can learn from their methodology, and this thesis also come out a new things because previous study not use these methods. Okay. And again, analysis also the same thing like methodology. So maybe you use in this research, use the new technique for analysis. You use a new software, upgrading version of the software. So when we read your article journal, we get another new things. Oh, from the theoretical side, also from methodology analysis. And then from the empirical, of course, empirical directly for your objective. So if you have 4 objective, meaning that you have the 4 empirical you need to discuss. Suddenly a practical, who the peoples and community to get some beneficial from your research, and for government, for industry also. And also the fundamental, if you have study come out the fundamental, you need to highlight also this research also contribute on the fundamental, such as if you are come out a model, module, system, guideline, something like that, we call that the fundamentals.
Okay, sir. Clear now.
All right.
Clear.
Do we have extension date for assignment submission? Shaifuddin, until now, I don't have a date for what we call that date for the final exam, and the last date I need to key in your marks. So I last check for this week only for the undergraduate. So undergraduate they have the final exam date, so they have mentioned which the last day I need to key in the marks. So Shaifuddin, don't worry. So I think that we have more than 1 month, and because we start late from the postgrad, and undergraduate we start early, and in this semester, but postgraduate we start 1 month after undergraduate start. Okay, so we have around 1 month to complete your assignment. So if you want to one specific date, just wait. I will be informed after I get the what we call that the timetable or schedule, the specific one. So which the last date I need to key in your marks. Okay, so maybe maybe you need to send before 1 week before I key in your mark. So this is another, sorry, this is what we call that the cut off, and that I make it a practice because I cannot be cut off the last date for carry mark. So very difficult. I need to read all your progress, all your assignment in 1 day. So I need some time, and say a little bit time to read all of your assignment. So maybe my cut off is 1 week before the last date I need to key in your mark through a system. Okay. Everyone, Shaifuddin, I will be update through our WhatsApp group. Okay. Thank you, Shaifuddin. Anyone? So I will check in the WhatsApp group also. Maybe we have a few questions also in the WhatsApp group. I want to predict the development trends of the business model. So you want to predict. So meaning that you want to do some influence or effects. What research method should be used? When the keyword here is trend. Okay, Zhang Hui. Basically, in business research method, if you want to use a trend, maybe you use a secondary data. You should be have used annual report or little bit annually report from company, government. Okay, so you can measure by trend using that we call that historical data. If you have the data historicals, okay, you can use the trend analysis also. Okay, so Zhang, I don't know how from your question, I think that maybe you use the secondary data, you have the data, so you can use the econometrics, time series, panel data analysis. You are actually from the economic backgrounds, Zhang Hui, and from your case, I think that you want to predict the developments of trends, meaning that you have based on the historical data. So from the historical data, we have many analysis you can run, but it's depend how big your data, and then for depends on your variable also. If more variable, more complex, so you can use the advanced analysis from, for example, econometric or the panel data. So this is another option if you want to analyze historical data from previously. And but if you want to use the use on the data primary, for example, questionnaire, you can also make it a predict, but you need to convert development trend to in part of the factors or items. You cannot be use a secondary data. If you use a primary data, all the things, all the term need to convert by variables. So if you have a variable, so we can come up with the questionnaire. So we can use a survey technique in order to answer your specific objective. Okay, that's good. That's good, Zhang. You know that from your problem statement, this is a solution you should be complete in your research. You need to predict. But the difficulty is in research, not just only we need to clear our problem statement, that you should be know that from my objective, what method I need to use. Okay, so in this, Zhang, that I can say that you are studying quantitative, but it depends to you what is actually the type of data you want to use, the primary data or secondary data. So if you want secondary data, you need to base on the previous historical data, for example, annual report. If you want to study the questionnaire, maybe a little bit you need to what we call that, change your the keywords of trend here. Maybe when you use a trends, mostly panel we looking for the type of the trends analysis. So a trends analysis is based on historical data. And somehow, Zhang, business model is quite big. So you need to specify what type of the business model. Maybe sustainability business models, or so what's the business strategy, like QQM business model, lean business model. So you need to more specific. Business model to quite general. So we cannot be use the general general thing in your topics. Okay, please detail, please specific, and what's a business model you want to apply in this research. Business model is too general and too general. We cannot be soft by propose general business model. You need to specifics what types of the business model you want to explore or you want to investigate. Okay. Anything question? Okay. Thank you very much your question actually. So I'm happy. So because somehow we cannot be lecture. So we just little bit. We need to mix also like this one, so everyone have the plenty plenty platform to ask the questions. So you can ask me directly. Okay, maybe some of us quite shy to ask the question. Maybe they're happy also because from your question, the same question also they need to ask actually. So kita dah sumbang sesuatu lah kan. You already asked whatever that the people need to ask also. Yeah. Okay, if you don't have questions, I think because I'm plan also make it short tonight. So hope everyone in good health and so in good condition, and make sure everyone please care yourself and please care about your safety on your side and on your family also. So, and please make sure everyone notice. So we just have a few weeks and for this subjects, please start your, at least you need to start right now to complete all the assignments. So if you are not complete in your assignment, meaning that complete, meaning that not submit. If you are submit but not complete, okay. And because I mentioned in progress, just submit whatever. Sorry, if I have 10 assignment, please submit 10. So the complete in progress doesn't matter, because my target is in progress. It's meaning that not complete, just in progress. Okay. So just make it complete all the template and the specifics, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. But it's all the chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3 is based on your progress. And what 2 page, 3 page, never mind. This is actually based on your progress. I know that here a lot of students in semester 1 also. So you at least you learn something. You learn something. You can show your action by show your progress. That's it. So your supervisor also have what we call that positive expectation. So there needs some when you have done in this subject, you can write something. So you can sit and discuss it with your supervisor by show something. You can show your progress, maybe 1 page, 2 page. At least you have show your progress, your positive progress. So that's what we call that the minimum hope from me lah. And so at least you learn something, you can show that your progress, you have thing, you can start to discuss with supervisor. Somehow student blur, just see in your supervisor, please don't know what's the title, okay, please solve in this class. At least you can do what we call that good start from your supervisor. At least you're not shy to see your supervisor, because you have learned something from this subject. Okay. Okay, yeah, I will be share this video also. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Your time, your commitment, your questions, and I hope so. This short discussion will be increase our understanding. So how serious this subject in your journey. I know that the next part is about writing. So complete in your writing thesis. So I hope from this subject can make a good start for you, and will be increase your writing also, your progress. At least you can communicate with your supervisor. So supervisor also happy based on your progress and level of understanding. Okay. So please remember, in this subject is continuity actually. So it's not only depend from me. You can refer your supervisor and others, lecturer or trainer in outside there. So if you refer more teachers, you can get more knowledge also. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera and good night everyone. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Sama.